In a village torn between age-long traditions and the whisper of change, young Kenna faces a life-altering decision as the weight of her culture's painful ritual clashes with her growing hope for a better future. Tensions rise, forcing her family and community to confront their deepest fears and beliefs. With her bold aunt Nkem by her side, Kenna's courage sparks a battle between the past and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. Will her voice be enough to rewrite her destiny and that of the generations to come? This tale of bravery and transformation challenges us to question what truly defines our identity. The room erupted into chaos. Women's voices clashed in loud arguments, some defending the ceremony and others hesitating, uncertain of what they had believed for so long. Kenna sat frozen on the mat, her heart pounding like a drum. She looked at her mother, Mama Adako, whose face was a mixture of anger and fear. Nkem, her bold aunt, stood in the middle of the room, her eyes locked on the elder, Mama Ifoma, who still had the blade tightly in her hand. Kenna, Mama Adako's voice broke through the noise. Do not listen to her. She left this village and has no right to speak about our ways. But Nkem took a step closer, her voice calm yet strong. Do you want to lose your daughter the way you lost your sister Adako? Do you not remember the screams? The fever that took her life days after the same blade touched her. Mama Adako's lips trembled, but she quickly hardened her expression. This is not the same. The gods demand it. It is what makes us women. And what do the gods give in return? Nkem countered, her voice raising. Does pain make us stronger? Does it bring honor? Or does it silence us? Kenna felt tears welling in her eyes. She thought of Amara, her friend who had returned from the ceremony weeks ago, no longer laughing or running freely. She thought of her younger sister, little Ifunanya, who would face the same fate if this tradition continued. Her chest tightened with fear, but in that fear, a spark of something stronger began to grow. The elder Mama Ifoma slammed her staff on the ground, commanding silence. Enough! Her deep voice echoing through the hut. This child has a choice to make. Speak, Kenna. Do you wish to honor your ancestors, or will you follow the outsider? All eyes turned to Kenna. Her throat felt dry, and her hands trembled as she clenched her wrapper. She wanted to disappear, but the weight of the moment pressed on her like a heavy stone. She took a deep breath, her voice barely a whisper. I don't want to do this. Silence filled the room. Mama Adako stepped forward and her face pale. Kenna, do you know what you are saying? Do you want to shame our family, our ancestors? Kenna looked at her mother, tears streaming down her face. Mama, I don't want to lose myself. I don't want Ifunanya to go through this. Please, Mama. Nkem knelt beside Kenna and placed a hand on her shoulders. You are brave, Kenna. Braver than most. Change starts with one voice. But the elder's face darkened. You will bring a curse upon this village, she said, pointing her staff at Nkem. You speak against our gods, our ways. You will be held responsible for what happens next. Suddenly, the sound of drums echoed from outside the hut. The men in the village, drawn by the commotion, began to gather. At the front was Papa Eze, Kenna's father, his face etched with concern. What is going on here? He demanded, voice cutting through the tension. Nkem stood tall, facing the crowd. Your daughter has made her choice, she said, her voice steady. She has chosen life, freedom, and a future where pain does not define her. Papa Eze looked at Kenna, then at Mama Adako, whose eyes were filled with tears. He took a deep breath and turned to the crowd. This ends here, he said, his voice firm. No more will our daughters suffer in the hand of tradition. The crowd murmured in shock, but a few heads nodded in agreement. Some women wept quietly, remembering their own pain. Others held their daughters tightly, shielding them from the memories. Mama Ifoma shook her head, her grip on the blade loosening. You are a fool, Eze, she spat. You do not understand the power of tradition. Without it, we are nothing. We are more than pain, Nkem said, her voice soft yet unwavering. We are mothers, daughters, sisters. We are the future. Kenna stood, her legs still trembling, but her heart steady. She took Nkem's hand, and together they walked out of the hut into the open air where the sun was beginning to rise. The villagers watched in silence, their faces a mixture of awe and uncertainty. As the first rays of light bettered the village, Kenna turned to see her mother step out of the hut, her face streaked with tears. Mama Adako walked over, placed a hand on Kenna's cheek, and whispered, "Be strong, my daughter." The change would not come easily, but Kenna knew that with courage and hope it would come. And as the village stared with the promise of a new day, the seeds of transformation had already begun to grow. Let's think about this. What defines our identity? Tradition or the courage to challenge it? How do we honor our past while creating a better future for the ones we love? Let the story inspire us to reflect on what truly matters. Thanks for watching, and hey, have you shared? Sharing is caring. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll get notified once I drop in new content. See you in my next video. Bye!